Oh, thank you. Okay, so we'll begin our meeting, the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you and good evening, everybody. Any changes, additions, deletions to the agenda? We're good, okay. Our meeting minutes, we had two meetings since we of minutes to approve. One is from our July 20th meeting. That's been edited.
Yep, actually, I just got a couple corrections to some wording, where I had, said Route 257, it should actually say Route 5 and Do Good Road. So on page 2, there was just a couple edits. And then page 3, to specify the seasonal mowing is Ledyard Canal related.
Motion to approve those minutes as amended.
So moved.
A
Second.
A second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Our abstract dated today, which.
Is that for both sets? Is that
Oh, well,
for both?
so that's the 20th. We should do one for the August 5th meeting.
Yes.
That was a very brief meeting to pay some bills, fire department related items of applications. A couple of small things that were talked about then. So. Motion to approve the meeting minutes from August 5th.
And they could be made by anyone, whether you were there or not, as long as they are understandable.
So moved.
As long as you read them and you know what they
Yes.
said or what we did.
Yes.
Moved by Casey, second by
Sure,
Mark.
second.
all in
Yeah.
favor? Okay,
That proves they're effective, if anybody could understand what was happening.
Yes, definitely. It was
Alright,
more than
thank
I
you for that.
thought it was gonna. Yeah.
well, it always turns into.
Yes, it
something,
was.
But the minutes explained it, so that was good, right?
Yes.
Okay. Abstract number 5 dated today in the amount of,
This abstract 5 is in the amount of totaling $256,003.72. A couple of the larger items was the health insurance premiums, and one of the installments for the grapple truck lease. And just one other one, the recycling,
Okra charges.
the Okra charges, exactly.
Moved by Dan and they were reviewed by Dan.
They were audited by Dan, yes.
Motion,
Second.
second.
I
Oh,
have just a question.
yeah.
Did you say 256?
Yes, we had bills that came in after and
Okay, so
I apologize if I didn't get to resend this today. Tyler brought some bills in this
Okay.
morning.
Okay, just wanted to check myself.
Yeah, no.
All right, thank you.
In mail that came in today, we recognized we needed to put it in because they were all gonna be due at the end of the month, and the next one was September 14th.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
It was seconded by Mark.
Mark,
Okay, thank you.
okay. Our departments are a little limited this evening because the fire chief is not here. He had no business for us, as I understand it.
Right,
You have
yeah, he
anything
didn't
to
have
add?
any-
Patients are pretty.
We don't have any, we actually, in the last, month or so, there've been, 7, 8, maybe 8 people who have taken orientation classes and, sort of enthused about that. I mean, it's, great to have people that are willing to, spend some time. Hopefully they'll hang in there. It's not something that's easy to do, so, like any volunteering isn't. This one sometimes gets a little more difficult because there's so many classes to take. But it's nice set of group, a nice group.
Thank you. Our DPW superintendent had a family situation come up, so he's not here this evening, although I have some information more related to DPW than I would fire. So one is, there's 2 purchases he would like to make. One is for salt for our roads for this coming winter. He'd like to purchase 250 ton at $60.97. For the total of $15,243. This will fill our salt barn. And this is before an increase in price, which goes into effect September 1st. So it's a good time to take care of getting ready for
Mhm.
winter. A motion to approve that purchase.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
And the other purchase that he would like to make is from Crown Undercoating Rust Protection through Boondocker, which deals with trucks and equipment and things like that. This is an annual treatment for, I believe it's like rust protection and things like that for our equipment. This is budgeted in his budget already, and so, they have had some, they're ready to get it scheduled. They usually do it a little bit earlier in the season of summer, but they've had some delays on the provider's part, not the DPW's part, so they're getting it scheduled. So just to approve this expenditure of $4,600.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Um. So just for informational purposes, New York State, you may notice that the bridge over the Ledyard Canal on Walnut Street is closed currently. The New York State DOT inspected it and put a red flag on it and asked us to close it down until we came up with a plan for either repair, replacement, or something. So that bridge at the moment is closed, officially closed. We sent back a notice to the state DOT that we were closing the bridge. Per their red flagging it, not our decision, but theirs, that we needed to do something. So we're in the process of talking with Barton LaJudas about, the cost estimate to do an evaluation of that and to see just what that bridge might need to be repaired or made usable. We've looked at it in the past different times. It's been closed in years past at different times, then reopened. So we have to look at it for its structural safety, talk to New York State DOT about that again, once somebody looks at it to give us some ideas about that. Some of the fixes could be limiting the weight limit that goes across that bridge. Posting signs that only certain weight limit trucks or vehicles could go across that bridge. Some talk in the past has been to repair and replace the bridge with like a culvert type of situation, as opposed, it could still appear to be a bridge above, but to have a culvert underneath a solid structure other than like the bridge expansion that we have there now or whatever. So there's some things to look at and we will be looking at them, but just to give you an update in case residents talk to you about that. That's a good question. Sure.
Their reasons for the red flag, are they the same reasons this time as they were in the past?
I'm assuming so, but I don't know that for a fact. They red flag it and then it took several weeks before they could send us any kind of report as to why they red flagged it. So I think that came more recently. In order to talk to Barton and LaJudas to have them look at it, engineers to look at it, to see about it. They needed the state report to see what they were finding in order for them to look at it more effectively to come up with a plan and recommendations to the village. So it's been a process that is slow.
I haven't seen the report yet.
I haven't seen it. I don't know if Tyler got it. I think he got it, but I don't know that he got it. So
I don't know, as I said in the comment, when we reopened it after it had been closed prior to this, I didn't agree with that at that point.
Of reopening it?
Yeah, period.
So I would like to just, when we do get the report, I would like, not that it really is going to matter, I just want to make sure whatever we do to fix it, it's like,
Looks for 50 years.
well, and I'll look at it to see if it was the same. We can look at the last one too, and I can get a better answer for you if it's the same or something different too. But we'll certainly share that
Especially if
information
it's
as
the
soon as
same.
we have it. Yeah, especially if it's the same. Okay. The other thing, just, and this is again, just for information purposes, at budget time, we talked about adding someone to the leadership of the DPW crew down there. We've been working and we worked through civil service and came up with a title of and a description that's in place for a labor crew leader. We've been talking with the Teamsters Union and have a MOU with them regarding their acceptance of some position like this or whatever. So we will be proceeding with Tyler as far as the applicant process and checking into how we go about doing that. And so that'll be coming up sooner than later, but just to give you an update that something is in progress and working about that situation.
That's great.
Since we don't have an assistant DPW superintendent at this time. So it won't be the same position that we had in the past. It'll be a new position. But it'll be something that's kind of more workable and
His backup. if
his
he's out of
backup
town.
if he's not here
Or
or
not.
able to be here, or to help him when he is here too, or whatever, obviously, good stuff, so. So that's what I have for DPW. Any other questions for DPW or thoughts on DPW work? They've been going around trimming trees over sidewalks. We've had a resident that's made a couple of different phone call concerns about the trees and their height above the sidewalks. So they've been
Meaning they're too low.
too low.
Yeah.
So they've been addressing that in different areas of the village. I think the tree commission's gonna be working on that too. I mean, we talked a little bit about that,
We've
but
done some, but
yeah, I mean, there's only so much as fast as it can go, as things go. I'm not saying they have to do more. I'm just saying, you know, we've talked about it just in general so that people know that we are addressing the situation. It's just that there's lots of street trees, lots of sidewalks, and lots of places to look at. So that's underway, but just to give people again an update on something like that.
They did a nice job on the sidewalks. I know it was a walk to school program or something like that. I can't remember the.
Yeah, the grant that we had for Spring Street that's
Yeah,
been
yeah.
completed.
And they did a nice job on that. The one thing that I would like to see them do, I've been through the village a lot lately. Well, every month I try to hit every road. And I did a lot of potholes, so I would be interested in them getting a pothole fixer on. And going along with that, we're not doing Mill Street.
So far, we're probably gonna cut that out and patch it, yes. We're gonna, but we're not gonna repave it at this point in time. We
Okay,
don't have the
I didn't-
permissions to
that
repave
was
it
still
like
up
we
in the air.
talked about.
Yeah.
We don't have those permissions yet. We're probably not going to get those permissions to use CHIPS money. That's what the permission was looking for, was to use CHIPS money to repave Mill Street, where that,
the
the
corner.
bridge of where the dike or the Ledger Canal goes across down.
That was something we talked about though when we did South Street.
We did talk about.
Right, but we
But it
didn't
didn't-
get the approval to use CHIPS money on it, so we would have to pay for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
No,
believe that we're going to
That's fine.
pay, right, we're gonna do patching and repairing of that area, but not repaving of that area, if that makes sense, like not repaving the street, but fixing the problem that's there.
Just gonna be repaving.
Right.
There's
It's significant.
bad.
It's very significant and.
And if you're driving around and you're finding potholes, can you make me? a
No, I
list
wasn't
of
finding potholes. I was during the middle of the night, I was looking at streetlights
them? And you tell them,
and checking to see which ones were out. And during the day, I was looking around.
you mentioned there's potholes to fix, can you give us a list, of
Oh, yeah.
where they are?
I know.
Okay, that's helpful, because just saying
Yeah.
there's potholes in the village, it's a lot of miles of streets, so.
Yeah, I know. Well,
That's all. Yeah.
that's one of them. Clint.
Okay, that's a good one, we know where that is.
Washington one.
Okay,
That's a major one. Right here, brings another. Yeah, I'll give you a whole list.
okay, that's great. Next, we have a proposal from Davis Solmer in regards to some repairs that are needed for our sprinkler system in this building and the fire department building. So I have a proposal for them to fix those items for $2,770.27. So make a motion if somebody wants to have those
So moved.
repaired. Moved and seconded. Any questions?
Yeah, we're all in the whole, both buildings?
In both buildings, yeah.
Okay.
In our building, it's 1,351.76 and 1,418.51 in the other building.
Did we find that out by a routine inspection?
Yeah.
They
When
found
they come
something
to do their, when they come to do their inspections, then they,
being-
Good.
all right,
Get it done.
all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Next on the agenda, we have an Eagle Scout project, and this is in Do Good Park.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
So the agenda says Golden Park, but it's Do Good Park.
It's actually in Golden. It's at the
It's
bottom.
in Golden? Okay,
Since
It's just behind Four Seasons.
where the bridge is.
oh, okay,
So
I wasn't sure. We were trying to find it on
All the
the
other
map,
stuff isn't do good, it's the same thing, but this one's in gold.
but this is in Golden. Okay, that's good to know. Sorry.
So the Eagle Scout is Rohan. I'm sure I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Would you mind standing up and just introducing yourself to the board and your project and?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm Rohan. I am going to be a junior at Fayetteville Milnes High School this coming fall, and I'm a life scout in Troop 369, which is in Milnes. My project involves like replacing a 36-foot bridge in Golden Park, like which is just north of Duguid Park. And due to like age and weather exposure, the current bridge is like deteriorated and needs fixing. And this is it's really helpful to mountain bikers who use this trail a lot. So it'd be helpful for them. So that's why I'm proposing this project.
And village residents who walk there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Great. That's good.
Yeah.
Matt?
Matt?
I'm Matt Fitzgibbons. I'm part of the Parks Commission, and John has worked with Rohan. And so as John's been talking to you about our development, Do Good and Golden Park, this fits nicely into what we are trying to accomplish with that park. So we fully support Rohan and his request to do this.
So the only question I have is how, who is, if someone is assisting in terms of oversight of the bridge replacement or bridge repair, if someone's, is that you, Mr. Wilson? If you could explain
Yeah,
the process, only because we're liable for anything and everything that may happen there, so.
roger that. I'm Steve Wilson I represent CMI Dirt, which is really a Facebook group these days, but it's been a group that supports trail building and bridge building and that stuff at every major mountain biking area across Onondaga County. I personally built every other bridge in Golden. There's 5 of them, and there's 2 drops that we put in last year, or 3 drops actually, and some other features. So this one that Rohan is doing, we've been talking over the last month, and it will be identical to the other ones that are in Golden. The plans for those all came off of a website where a professional engineer had a variable set of plans depending on the width and the height and all that stuff you use. And they're very overbuilt. They're 4x6s by 12. There's no span longer than 12 feet. So they're supported every 12 feet, and they're 2 4x6s, and it's 32 inches wide. So literally you could almost drive a pickup truck over it, although it's only 32 inches. It's nuclear grade. So that the intention is for it to last through rot and any kind of degradation over the ones that are there now. I helped Derek Zipridge build back in like 2018, and we didn't have any money, and they were all just built with whatever scraps we could find that weren't pressure treated. This stuff worked with Rohan. We estimated the price. These folks have already done fundraising and raised the money, but I've kind of guaranteed that whatever he doesn't have, CNY Dirt will come to the rescue and fill in any gaps, which I don't think there are any.
Wow, you've done a lot of work already.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You know, we've had a lot of people come in that work on Eagle Scout projects and things like that. But this is top notch as far as I was concerned. I'm not going to say anything bad about the other ones or negative or anything, but they were all, you know, helpful, but this one is top shelf.
Thank you.
I want to say that
Well,
I
he
was
doesn't know
very,
what top shelf means.
I also was very
It's an
impressed
adult.
with how you wrote this up. It's really well organized, easy to follow. You answered a lot of questions, so you represented yourself very well for it.
His work ethic to me has been, I'm an Eagle Scout, but I've worked with a handful of young guys over the last few years on various things, and Rohan has it going on. His work ethic is very well put together. I agree.
Can you notify us when you're gonna start or, and
Yeah, so right now,
I might wander up there.
right now we still have to get approval from the Eagle Board. So that's probably gonna be in September. So we're planning to do this by the end of September.
Thank you.
Yeah, if you can just keep us up to date on what you're doing.
Does John have the way to connect with you folks?
Yes, Matt
Yeah.
does too,
So,
yeah.
I mean, John will be directly involved, but
Okay.
what I've said to Rohan is as soon as you get the approval, it's literally a trip to Home Depot on a Friday night, and we go to my house, we cut everything up and screw it together, put it in the truck, and the next morning we arrange for volunteers to come and put it in on a Saturday morning. It's very quick.
Oh, good.
Very
Good
cool.
about it.
Yeah. John and I'd be.
Have to walk fast.
What?
You're
You'll
gonna
have to walk fast. to get
Yeah,
up.
you're gonna have to be quick.
We'll take a lot of pictures.
Yeah, no, it'd be interesting to see or whatever. So
It would
If
be
we get some signatures from like a representative, should I do that at the end or?
I can sign stuff for you whenever. We're all good with it, right? We don't need to
Yep.
vote on it. or-
Thanks for that. Okay, so you're just like giving information about getting legal Scout
Okay.
projects.
Yep.
Those-
Okay.
Over here, it's just much better.
Initiate church. Right here.
It's been sailing.
Matt, Ron, could you email a copy of that signed
Oh, yeah.
agreement to either myself, I think you have my email, or Jane, just so we have something here
Send it to
too.
John and he can bounce it to me and I'll get it to you.
Just, yeah,
We just need a full,
show the signed
copy,
agreement,
yeah.
yeah.
Make sure you know what you're signing there because we just had a county executive sign.
Other reason.
I can't believe you said that.
Well, I just want to make sure he knows.
Guarantee his car he's buying.
Darren doesn't have to write that down. She can if she wants to. That's to me.
I love it.
That's what
17. Is Eagle Scout the highest level? And
If you find it, it's the more. just let me know.
Award in scouting.
and what grade is he? Are
I'll
you?
be a junior in the fall.
You'll be a junior in the fall. Wow, I'm impressed.
So unlike others that we've worked with, he's not trying to get it in the last 2 weeks before he turns 18. I
Exactly.
give him a thumbs up for that.
Commend you.
And my
Yes.
question is, how many merit badges you have left, Rohan?
I have 2,
Oh, very
but I'm
good.
like basically almost done with them.
Can't tell you how many scouts I had at my house and before they turned 18.
Trying to get the merit badges done, sewing something.
How many merit badges are there you can get?
There's a lot to get, but in order to get Eagle, you need 21. Like
Okay.
there's specific ones you need to get.
There's
The
like
minimum of 21
11
to go.
required and then, but there's like 140.
I figured there had to be a
Oh, yeah,
number,
there's
number.
Certain ones that are mandatory and many others that are
So Rohan,
like
if you
carpentry, for example.
ever come across a need or an interest to volunteer, don't forget about the Village of Fayetteville. We have plenty, the Parks Commission has work. We have lots of opportunities.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Thank
That would
you.
be great. We'd love to get some younger perspectives on what we do. So awesome.
Thank you. Next, we had a request from a resident and I've talked to the people that lived in the area of Linden Lane in regards to some streetlights because it's very dark down there. Tyler and I met with a representative from, I guess it was Bradley from National Grid, who provided some information. He identified 2 places where we could put streetlights. One is more towards the corner of Linden Lane and Center Street.
So that's in the park? That would be
No,
one in the park?
No, Linden Lane and Center Street is down.
Oh, there, it's down on the other
On the
side.
other end.
It's on,
And
it's on
then
the south side.
closer to the park, but not all the way in the park, because there is one up by the park already.
Yeah, okay.
So,
All right.
and so the cost of putting them in is something that National Grid does. They have to run a lower voltage line to one of the poles to put the light on it. Which he said wouldn't be a problem. Our cost annually to do this would be $198, rounding it up to an even number, $197.28 is what. So I think it's a good idea to move forward with this because it is a dark area. I've driven down there. I don't know, I'm sure we all have because we got notified a while ago about it, but
Why you're saying that it costs $198 annually to
Energy.
run the energy
Energy.
for the light?
yeah.
So is that the cost per light
No,
pole?
for both of them.
but what I'm trying to understand, is that what it cost? Not, I'm not gonna say no. I'm just curious, is that the cost per light pole in our village? $198
Yeah,
per light?
for like-
100.
Depends
Well,
upon. the
98.64 per
Oh,
pole.
$100 per pole.
It
Yeah,
depends.
100, just under $100 per pole. There's two poles that we're talking about.
$100 per pole.
It depends upon the voltage. How long they're-
These are 25-watt LED lights, which would be similar to what we have in the whole village. All our got changed to LED. We don't.
It's different.
at all.
Because some of them may not have been switched over to LED.
Yeah.
Okay.
So most
Oldies.
Oldies,
Oldies,
they're-
but goodness.
most of them have
Those
some.
strong yellow lights that are.
Some of the ones,
Most of them,
some of the
like
ones on the bridge,
99% of them.
the ugly things we have there.
You mean down there, the main bridge?
Yeah.
Tell us what you really think.
Yeah.
Well,
Need a motion?
I will have a motion. Yes, please.
I move that we go forward with National Grid
These
to put the two lights
recommendations.
on.
Okay. All right,
I'll
moved
second.
and seconded. Any other meaningful conversation? All in favor? Thank you.
You met with Brad Smith?
Yeah,
I wanted to meet.
well, I'll call him. He's
Yeah.
got his number right
He
here.
won't answer my calls.
Well, maybe there's a reason.
Super.
What the reason is, but
Well, you got more power.
no, you know who got the appointment with me and him? Karen Shepherdson. My
Yeah.
I know,
art
she
clerk.
gave me, she
All right, gentlemen,
gave me the number.
compost bins?
He won't answer me.
Mark, Matt has some information on our composting and the bins that we want to
Yeah,
purchase.
actually, we're running our composting program, which is almost 2.5 years old now. And we have actually for the last 2 years been at full capacity of our pilot. We've initially got 100 bins. In order to go, we need to keep a few in reserve in order to replace broken, et cetera, so that we still keep the people out there. So what I've done is I've requested in the budget, we requested $4,000, which was approved in the budget. And what we're looking to do now is to increase that number of bins by an additional 50. That cost will be $2,562, which includes shipping as well, by the way. And that is also on the New York State contract for toter. So that is why we're going in that direction. We've done it before. We've worked out with the funds. So I move that we actually purchase the 50 of the toter bins for composting. And by the way, it seems to be working very, very well as a sidebar, and a lot of people are very happy with it.
I
And
second.
Huh?
I second.
thank you.
Any other questions or?
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, I got a little lost in terms of how many are we purchasing?
50.
Okay.
All right, I have a question. I'm assuming that once we have the bins, we will then open it up to,
I'm going to open it up again and do it for everybody's even access. Because I know the 50 bins should go fairly quickly. And we'll open it up this fall and probably put it within our newsletter. So
Okay.
people know what's going on.
Yep.
And so that everybody has equal access to it, so that it's not like somebody who requested one 3 years ago and couldn't, or 2 years ago. We're gonna put that open for everybody.
So
You're one of those people, so I wanna,
I have bugged you. You just-
yes, ma'am.
is you're choosing to purchase the bins and then open them up for people who want them versus getting a list of people who want bins and then purchasing that number of bins. Why?
Because my budget only, it goes to a certain point, and so I'm trying to work to stay within the budget.
Okay,
That's why I'm working that way.
okay.
He has people that want to participate that haven't been able to participate
Right.
because of the lack of bins. So even though we may be buying 50 and we might only initially have 30 people that want them, it seems like they come along and add more to it as time goes on. So I'm not sure that that's the right numbers. I'm just using that as an example.
Right.
But,
One more question.
and we have to buy them in lots of 25 probably,
Yeah.
for shipping purposes and things like that.
Issues with
And-
the whole process. I'm
Yeah.
just trying to understand. Is there a way for us, and there may be a very quick and easy answer to this question. Is there a way for us to understand the return on our investment in the collection of our garbage?
Actually, you
right?
can,
What we're trying
Because
to
we
do?
actually do keep statistics on what we're collecting. Tyler pushes that to me on a weekly basis, so I know.
Volume.
Yeah, so our volumes, how much, what our weight is when we're clicking it in. where we're doing the
So
composting.
if we can understand that, then it may more than justify the purchase of the bids. Like,
Well, yeah, and we've actually, working in a very interesting scenario because everything that we produce doesn't go to normal tipping fees.
right,
And the way we've arranged it in the contracts we put together, when we put this together initially, we do not pay a tipping fee for it. Because Kinsella Quarries wants it and we
Right.
give it to them and they want it for their remediation in their quarry.
so it's at no cost for us to transfer this material to the quarry.
Correct.
But it may be lowering our overall tipping fees because we're taking that out of people's garbage.
Yeah, it's
So I'm
not
trying to
significant
understand that
yet because
relationship.
we don't have a large percentage of the households. I mean, when you think about, we have roughly, I remember like 15 to 1,800 households
Around
within.
that.
And if I only have roughly 90 out there to 80 at the time, I have an insignificant number in order to deal with that at this point in time. But in fact, being positive about it and people are asking for it as well, because it's one of the services they want. And it's the only one that exists in Onondaga County where we're doing curbside pickup for kitchen compost.
How much does a bin cost?
Well, 50 of
Or
them is,
25, you can only order them by bulk.
Yeah, I order them by bulk. The price on a bin is roughly $42, but then there's shipping on it, which is another $10 or so.
I'm just curious.
I was gonna tell you 40.
oh, there we go.
Math teacher at one point.
You should have been.
I think it's a walk.
He was a math teacher.
We can even,
Yes.
we have a couple guys do it and what we pay. what we
Yeah,
pay.
yeah.
That's.
It's all good. Thank you very much.
No problem.
We vote?
Yeah.
Yeah, all in favor?
I,
Okay. Next, okay,
no, I'm just saying, yay.
okay, okay.
You finally can put in for a compost bin now.
You know what, maybe you can be the first of the new round to request one.
I will do any process and I know it will be fair.
Zoning update, Dane, do we have any
Okay, so-
information for us?
Yes, last meeting we had, I sought approval for a board resolution to submit an application to the consolidated funding application to the Department of State. After that meeting, I received some communication from the county, and the county has offered us some funding. So I did not submit the CFA funding because I could not request their minimum amount because we were getting funding from the county. So it kind of caused me to just put a pause on that CFA. So everybody knows that got paused. We did receive $25,000 from the county to be used towards this build out analysis that we are having done for us. So that's the update on our funding situation. Our legal consultant has submitted the notices of intent to all of the interested or involved agencies. I believe there's a 30-day minimum requirement for us to wait until we take any action after that notice of intent. In other words, the recipients of the notice of intent get 30 days to respond to us. The 30-day period is going to happen sometime between this meeting and our September meeting. It's kind of falling in between. So we are not taking any particular action this meeting with respect to the seeker process. As we are moving forward, our consultants are working on the build out analysis, and we should have right now the targeted date to have some information on that. The results of the build out analysis should be ready for us at our first September meeting. Always something, there's always room for something to happen between now and then, but yeah, assuming everything runs smoothly, we should have some information on that. And then that will give us, the intent is that will give us, the board, some information on the potential for future adverse impacts based from this proposed zoning code. So we'll have some stuff to look at is really the sum of what I'm trying to say. We'll have more to talk about in our September meetings, and that will lead us further down the CEQA process. Which I do not expect that process to take more than a month or two. So.
Good.
The code is what it is. I have not received any, I have talked with our code officer. He has had some comments. They're not, major in the sense that a whole section needs to be reviewed or revised. He has some questions regarding some setbacks that are recommended. So once we have his recommendations together, we have our build out analysis, then I think we, as a full board, we can look at this kind of information. But Karen, I'm assuming that the village hasn't received any emails,
No. there hasn't been
comments
it.
from folks. Okay,
Not as of yet, no.
okay. And I'm assuming the other board members have not received comments.
No.
Because to make this most efficient, not to push the process or rush it, but to make it efficient. If you do receive comments and you can get them to Karen and I, then we can keep a good running tab of all the comments, so we can collectively make sure we do not overlook one comment. Like I literally have a spreadsheet going.
What about our own comments?
I would really prefer to get, if you have them, I'd love to get them now.
Okay.
So that we can
Get a hold of you.
understand them.
Okay.
And it would be a lot easier, I think, for us to begin going through those comments and understanding what they are and how we want to address them. Than getting everybody's all at once. I think
Okay.
that might be hard.
All
Like yours may be the same as Mark's or something like that,
Good.
So yeah, that would be great.
Thank you.
I have something to submit in the way of
We
comment,
have a
but I
letter.
give it to you now.
If you could give your comments to Karen, then that would be great.
We have.
We would take them.
I have copies for the board members, but I'll do what you want, of course.
You gave us one in June, is that the same one?
I'll have more. Really.
If you give them to
We're not
Karen,
gonna review-
we're not gonna look at them tonight, but if you wanna give them to Karen, she'll
Yeah.
disperse them to us afterwards, that's fine.
That would be great.
Appreciate it. Okay, our meeting on September 14th. Has a conflict with the planning board because of the Labor Day.
Yeah, because of Labor
holiday.
Day being the first Monday, their
Um,
meeting's gonna get bumped to
So
only Monday.
I would like to suggest that we start meeting at 5:30 on the 14th of September, and they are going to start their meeting a half hour later than what they normally do, so
Which should be what, 7:30?
which would be 7:30, so. Gives us 2 hours to utilize this space, and then they would be here afterwards.
Instead of
So.
use.
They can't go upstairs?
Abuse or use? I think I said use. I don't know.
I heard it be just.
Well, sorry, I
What
don't
if we
know.
run over? Can they go upstairs?
We can work something out.
Yeah. That's why we have a lot of room.
Their meeting is.
Or you can get
7:30?
very precise in your meeting and make it
Right.
concise.
We won't be picking on each other. Be fine. All right, motion to start a meeting at the 5:30 time on the 14th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We just put two significant things on the agenda, so I think Karen's point about us needing to be as well organized as possible going into that will be important.
And if we need to modify times with the planning board, we can look at that.
We have to look at a different space for them or for us or something. We'll do that, but this is the room that has the cameras, so that's why we try to utilize this space.
Yeah,
I don't know.
managing it.
Managing it
It would
is
be
like,
easier to work in one space.
right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what we can do.
Thank you.
All right. How about keeping other things more concise? Trustee updates.
Started that on this.
Start with Casey
Yeah.
tonight. Okay. Third on the other end, that's then.
Okay. Just want to remind everyone of the September 10th newsletter deadline for copy. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Do I need to speak a little louder, Dan?
Can you hear Casey? or-
Yeah.
She's asking, no, she's
Yeah.
asking.
Okay.
here, but,
So. The tree commission is reviewing 21 requests for trees. Reviewing the sites, so we just have a few more to review. We've selected our species, eastern for for areas that need to be small, eastern redbud, and areas that are medium would be called hornbeam. And our large ones are, a large one or two probably are horse chestnut. And we're hoping to be able to plant a celebratory tree. This is the Tree Commission's 25th anniversary, and it is also National Arbor Day Foundation's 50th anniversary. And the celebration of this tree is part of our Arbor Day celebration, as well as recognition for all former Tree Commission members. Something that we've had on our to-do list since I was elected. Really like to get that done.
Good.
In terms of pruning though, our Tree Commission members have been going through a course. 3 of them graduated. I should have their names, but I don't. And they're really discouraged from pruning at this time of the year. So in terms of the canopy of trees over sidewalks, I don't know that they're going to do a lot because they're trying to apply what they know. Even what they did over the summer was a little far into the year, so just so you know.
I have a question about pruning. I don't know when to ask it. Is now an okay time?
Yes, but I may have to get back to you with
I
an
know,
answer.
I know, that's fine.
I'm the least knowledgeable person.
I have 2 questions on trees. The first one has nothing to do with pruning. It has to do with the maple trees, one of which is in front of my yard. They're getting this brown spot on them and the leaves just fall by July. And the
Yep.
tree's practically empty of leaves and looks horrible.
Yep.
And the question is, I was told somewhere in the past that that is not a pest issue and it's not guaranteed to return the next season. But I can tell you that it has returned, if not every season, just about every other season. So what, if anything, can be done about that problem?
Our service berries have also been leaves have been turning yellow since July as well. And they got some water.
We have an arborist in the,
No, but I did some research. I was having the same problem with my trees. And what I found out was it's stress from not having enough water. So I just poured a lot of water around my trees that were under stress.
the
And
brown spot was due to stress.
Black spot disease.
like the leaves are shriveling up and turning brown spots and all
See,
that.
it's area wide.
Got
All
no,
right, so,
I've heard that they're Norway maples and it's really pretty much a garbage tree.
yeah,
It
it is a garbage tree. Yeah.
It's invasive and
Yeah.
it keeps other trees from growing.
Okay, well, all right.
we checked on that about 10 years ago, I think is the first time that and ESF thought that it was just as they say, some years it's gonna be bad, some years it isn't gonna be bad, so. I have a tree,
I know yours is.
I've got
excellent.
all kinds of.
My neighbors is
all over the
excellent.
place.
So the second question though does have to do with pruning, and I don't know if this question, I don't know who's responsible. It's a street tree. It's not a park tree. And there are dead limbs. The tree itself is not dead, but there are dead limbs in the tree. How does a person notify the appropriate either tree commission or DPW of that fact to put it on?
Glad you asked that question, because the tree commission went out a lot. And, sometimes it's smaller groups than others. They did over 100 trees. I don't know. We have a couple thousand trees and probably all of them need pruning. So it takes time. In terms of who fields questions, DPW and tree commission need to be working together on these things because they field calls come into the office and emails have been coming into tree commission. So the tree commission can only go as high as the tallest person. And we're not allowed to use chainsaw or a ladder. So, we have a height at which we can't go above. And then there's a DPW height, and then we have to hire a professional tree company. So our trees are desperately in need of pruning. And that it's just because it's time consuming. And it takes, we're behind.
Yeah, all right, that's.
So
fine.
it's something for us to consider.
As far as reporting, it goes kind of mutually to both the DPW and the tree commission. So that as you
So
can
they
see,
can determine, the tree commission can determine if they can do it. If it's too high, then they turn it over to the DPW. If it's under wires or in a bad spot, then they go back.
That's the tallest person out there.
He's about 6'1", but then we have some.
That's the
women
problem, the pruner
under 5
won't get the
feet.
trunk of it, it's just too thick.
Yeah, well,
Anyway,
we
geez.
can't, and we can't do, the tree commission can't do anything that they can't do with a saw. So.
Yeah,
the-
no, I hear
the
what you're saying,
diameter
you're
of
not
the
using
branch.
branch.
And the other thing is that, people are welcome, but the next tree commission meeting, Mike and I have discussed this a lot over the past couple of years. We need to have some kind of schedule, and I attended a presentation where, Village of Liverpool had a long-standing relationship with an arborist who works full-time for the city. And they do their village in quadrants. Our village did it in quadrants before, but, there is this, it's like fingers in the dike, because the requests can come from anywhere. And they pretty much concentrated on the Berkeley area. We're hoping them, we've suggested, I've suggested maybe we concentrate on the main roads too, because some of the trees look really bad. And present ourselves as well as possible. So. Okay, we'll be trying to figure that out some more. They didn't want to put out a call for volunteers because that is a lot of work for them to do. the
Oh,
work.
yeah, no, I get it.
So
Yeah.
there's only so many people who are actively doing this. About 7 or 8 different people at different times.
So just to, I'm not an arborist and I'm not a pruner and I'm not whatever, but we did have a resident that has made a couple of different phone calls and complaints about trees that are too low over the sidewalks. And we also plow our sidewalks in the winter, so we have a certain height of a machine that plows our sidewalks in the winter. So as we can look at that, whenever it's available, that would be a good priority for them to look at too, or whatever. That's why I bring it up, not that they have to go do it next week, but maybe, I don't know when the right times are, they know, not me. So if there is an opportunity for that to happen, sometimes they can do that. Otherwise, the DPW is doing some as they need to facilitate their equipment to get through and stuff like that too. So again, just kind of a coordinated effort, and we can talk more about that.
Coordinated
or
effort is
whatever.
very high on our list
Right.
of things to
Yeah,
discuss.
so we can talk more about that. And
Yeah.
when is your meeting this month?
The 18th, I believe. Let me just.
I just
check.
wanted to double
I don't-
check and make sure that I had,
It's the 26th.
it is the 26th.
Yes.
Yeah.
26th here.
Okay, that's the date that I had on my calendar, but I wanted to make sure I didn't miss something that I was supposed to be at.
Please tell us whether do you have some kind of a form that citizens, whoever has a complaint or a problem, that you can centralize a form that you can submit those complaints to on one form in one place? Do you have something like that?
A complaint about what?
With the trees, I'm talking about the trees, if
Okay.
something needs attention. Do you have a form so that people don't have to reinvent the wheel and say, oh, who should I contact and how do I do this? Is it possible to have a form for people to submit?
That is on the agenda to do. We had a form for tree requests. But right now, most things come either phone calls to the clerks. Phone calls to the DPW and some email. I think most of it is coming from people who pick up the phone and want to talk about it, but definitely something for further consideration.
Thank you.
Other things or?
Oh,
I wanted to take all the tree time. but
trees.
to Cut you off from the tree, but
The police committee met last week, and one of the topics that is always on the agenda is staffing. And every time, we only meet 6 times a year, so every time there is staffing changing, and they have the same kind of constraints as fire. People have to go through the academy. It takes a while for them to have an academy workshop available, and then for them to go. So they have like 3 different people in process right now. They also hold to very high standards, that align with what they're trying to accomplish. We did a brief review of the budget draft, and, you know, most of their, it's a very, very tight budget with, only 4.8% in personnel. And that's according to contracts. And they had a small percent went up, 2.7% in operating accounts. The big thing that shows an increase is the equipment accounts. And that is for vehicle replacement. Some of the vehicles are at the end of their life. They're pursuing grants for that. And, you know, that would adjust the budget if they can get the grants. They want to replace 10 vehicles over 4 years. That's the budget. And I think I mentioned before that they were going through the New York State accreditation process. And the first question that the person asked them was, are you accredited? So because they are accredited nationally, she was like, well, this is a whole different conversation. And they got perfect marks. There was not anything out of compliance and no corrective actions. So I think that is testament to their high standards all the time. The other thing that they have been working on, and I think all of us kind of know why, is strategies for managing e-bikes and e-scooters. It's become more of a problem. It's not only us, it's everywhere. The problems relate somewhat more to youth, but not only youth. And they're going about it in an educational way. They've developed a courtesy ticket. The printed copy didn't come in yet. It's a trifold. It has, you know, what you need to clean up and information about why and all, you know, an educational piece, but also a tracking mechanism. Their emphasis on education, but they have not gotten to the point of what you do with repeat offenders. So all of the kids under 16, all the kids under 18 should be wearing helmets, and it's not happening. So there's a lot of
Something else, I know that a town does not allow e-bikes, e-scooters with underage, and I don't know if it's under 18 or under 16, past 9 p.m. Like, it's a town law.
Okay.
Village of Baltimore or Baldwinsville just wrote a thing. As a matter of fact, it's a law in the village. And now whatever township they're in, I think they're in actually 2 townships. They're going to try to do it too. And so if we got a copy of it, might be a good idea for us to go that way. And after the police look it over, what was on TV 2 or 3 days ago, and it said, you know, Village of Baldwinsville.
And it's a curfew.
There's all kinds of rules.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
The educational approach, I give a lot of credit. I think it's really important that we start that way. I think that it's a new method of mobility. I don't think it's going to go away. I think it may actually become popular with seniors, right? It's a great, used correctly, it's a great source of mobility. We're seeing it being embraced by the youth because they tend to be a little bit more adventurous. We want to keep them safe, and that's important, but I think education is a great way to go.
And the technology has changed, so they're going faster, so that's another problem.
Right, I went home from my work last night about 12:30 this morning and going in Warren Street, coming down Clinton Street. Before I got to the stop sign, I happened to see a kid, so it was a younger person younger than me, on a scooter going down the street, powered by whatever. And with no lights on, dark clothes on, happened to see him go through with the street light that was there and stuff. So there is some significance to like looking at some of these things, because I don't care if they use them, but they should. I don't like the walkers that decide to walk with dark clothes either, because you can't see them in the dark times or whatever. But, we should have something in place, and maybe education, as you mentioned, both of you, is a good way to start with some of that type of stuff, is trying to encourage people to do, be a little more safe for themselves, not just and for the people that might be affected by hitting them for some reason or whatever, by not seeing them because of that type of stuff.
Are you trying to say something, Ron?
No, I'm
Oh.
reading because something I did relates to this as well.
Okay, so I'll just say that this is the kind of discussion that the police
Okay.
chief really likes us to have, and then to go back to him with suggestions. So this was very useful for me as a liaison to have this discussion.
Well, I'm sure just have, somebody in the office to call Baldwinsville and they'd send us a copy of their law.
I figured I would do that. But
I'm not eager to pass a law.
I
Right off the
want
bat.
to see what it is.
It's fine,
Yeah.
it's fine, we can all look
I
it
think
up.
I am.
it's a
Because
town, it's a town, jurisdiction
No, no.
really, because of the police
We can
department.
do it within the village too, which is what Baldwinsville did. I am interested because I think if we don't do something and somebody gets hurt, you and I and other people may feel responsible for it. Okay,
I mean,
that's the way.
we're taking action to educate everyone. I mean, it's like a bicycle rider. You choose to ride your bike after the sun goes down and you don't have the appropriate lighting on your bike or on your person, then you're taking a risk that you really should not be taking, right? There's been great information provided out there for bikers and for runners, especially during the runners in the inclement weather, because you can't see them.
Right.
So over the last 10, 20 years, it's taken longer than I wish it did, but I see runners now being very proactive and keeping themselves lit up.
Right.
You know? So that you're like, is that a runner or is that an alien? You know, they're so lit up, but I just would like us to consider that.
Well, we
You're
can take a look
educated,
at
you
it. We
can
don't
take
have to
the-
do it.
the Responsible
Yes,
action,
right,
taking responsibility. for it.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Well, I'll give you an example of adults that stand out here at this light for 15 minutes and see what happens. And they're drivers
Oh, right,
and they're
yeah,
adults
well,
and they're educated.
yeah. That doesn't mean they're not
All right,
attractive.
anything else, Casey?
That's good for me.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone.
Yep, Mark.
Actually, I'm gonna relate to what Casey was talking about. I was invited to attend a conference on safe streets by Onondaga County Planning, because they're actually doing a grant, federal grant about safe streets, et cetera. And that was really a major topic, was in fact the e-bikes along the way, because it's a concern for everybody. The other part is we talked about a lot of the things that were being done as far as crossings and things such as that, which we're doing also here in our village. And also structure and that type of approach dealing with our roads. And so for me, it was very interesting, and it was very good to understand a little bit more what other folks are doing along the way. So I'll say that was pretty key, I think, in a lot of ways. It opens, our eyes to what other folks are doing and what we need to be thinking about also. I have a lot of things to talk about here. So
I did
Go ahead.
forget one thing.
Go ahead.
The department is going for a New York State law enforcement technology grant. The request for proposals was just released just shortly ago. So they've been conducting a due diligence to assess where their technology is at, and currently a lot of it's out of shelf life, so they're really hoping to upgrade some of their tech. And they've asked if any of us, I think, would send a letter or make a call to our state representatives to say, this is something that's really needed. And that was the last thing, sorry.
Okay, let me move on. This week, we actually have a party in the plaza this Thursday. Just want to remind people, it's our last party in the plaza for the summer. And just to put that into context for everybody. The other thing that we have coming up in September 19th, we have the Fayetteville Festival, which will be on the Saturday, and that will be very interesting also. We have a variety of booths and things such as that are working. beyond that, I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that we in fact did get our consolidated funding application put in for the geothermal HVAC grants for the village hall and also the fire station as well for our heating and cooling systems. And the other part that goes along with this is, do you want me to talk about what I was at today that we've been working on for a while, or do you want to talk about it yourself, or how do you want to handle that with, or do you want Polly to handle that?
No, I'm like, I'll say something, I guess, after.
Okay, I'll let you take care of that.
Okay.
Okay. Because just another piece that we're working on. I don't want to steal Mike's thunder, you know.
I already took two of my things, so I'll.
Let me take the third. I'll make sure it goes on to the double
You're
for
good.
you.
Oh, whatever.
But anyway,
You can
that's
join in
really,
when I talk
yeah,
about it.
but those are the kinds of things that are going on. And the other part that was really important too, as I read in the last meeting, is that on Limestone, the bridge was completed and put back together. And the traffic concerns, many people I've talked to, they've actually pulled back the traffic concerns so that the regulations, et cetera, that were in place for New York State DOT are now back in place. So just put that in context for you as about what's going on. So when you're heading west on Route 5, there's not a turn onto High Bridge Street. Okay, just put that in context for you. And that was being allowed previously because of all the construction and everything else. And I thought they did a wonderful job as far as being untimely, et cetera. And now we're working on more bridges, as you can see. That's the other part that happened. So anyway, I'll go from there.
Do we have money to put pictures on the bridge?
Pictures, like
Well,
what
you know,
pictures?
so have artists,
Paint it.
Murals?
I wanna check on seeing on the,
I would like to see some nice.
Talking
well,
about
I wanna
murals?
see about,
About baseball pictures.
Yeah, sure.
I wanna see about the effects of salt on the paint. Because it's gonna get winter salt thrown against there. So I'm gonna look into it or whatever. I haven't yet, but I will. Well, when they put the sides on the bridge, they put solid concrete there
Yes.
instead of like the old rails, like we had talked to them about doing it, because, and they didn't do that. So, you know, Manlius Cemetery, for example, had a fountain that was just made of concrete, like finished concrete. And I had Mark Noble, or the cemetery, I suggested it, the cemetery went for it. He painted that plain concrete to look like a rock wall around it or whatever, you know, like a natural type of looking thing rather than just a concrete painted a solid color. Like this is, I just don't know what the effects of winter and salt would do to paint like that. So I don't want to pay a lot of money to do something that's gonna get damaged fast. But we can look at it, or maybe we can just paint it a color that's more appropriate than concrete, but whatever, we'll see.
Let it live for one full season.
Yeah, let's see where it goes and over time, but in the meantime, we can look at some aspects of that type of thing. What else?
Me?
Yeah.
I know, that's not mine.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no, yeah, it was,
That wasn't yours?
that
Oh,
was,
okay.
that was just a
Right.
comment on Mark.
I think
Well, it is a
we're-
county bridge, so I guess we should start talking to the county about this too.
Not so we know if
They're
we can
fresh
do
bridge,
something.
don't think they're
I wanna get
necessarily the
my
same.
facts together before I go for permission. Okay, now it's your turn.
Well, thanks to Casey, I crossed one of them out of the
Okay,
e-bikes. I would like, thanks to you, that I didn't meet Brad. I would have taken him to our electrical hookups and had him disconnect them. I'm having a terrible time trying to get it so we get money back out. You did say you thought you might have a connection with somebody.
Oh, you're talking about the electrical charging station.
Yeah, the charging station. I
well, we're
would,
gonna be in contact with Brad about the streetlights now, so
Okay,
I'll
good.
set up a meeting.
Good,
He can
let's-
come and talk
okay.
to us about that.
and I wanna talk to him about the guide wires for a pole that he put in.
Okay.
Share too. Yeah, good. I'd love to meet with him. I'm sure he did a nice job getting the things. Next, because of the success across the street on Spring Street is just a mess. The other day, there was a landscaper with a pickup truck and a thing a little wider than that, and could not get up there. So that means a fire truck couldn't have got. I don't know what the alternative is, and I'm happy about these suggestions, you know. I do know this. The people from H Hardware used to have their employees park on the east side of Spring between John and
The
where
driveway of
is,
the-
yeah. I don't know if it's their vehicles there now or not, or the ones from the restaurant here, because they are there, not like, Monday and Tuesday, nothing. Not very, but went starting tomorrow, and there's one camper, somebody that works there as a camper and parks right at almost right in front of a person's view, if they wanna look out their window. So, but as you say, there's not any reason why. So I was thinking maybe there'd be such a thing as a temporary lease order or something like that, where they just for a while. I mean, let's see if it does. You keep telling me it's gonna slow
Well, one,
down.
we haven't had any complaints from the people that they're parking in front of their houses.
Actually, we have. had-
Yes, we have, yes. And
I haven't either.
and people have asked me, do you want me to have them I'll
Sure.
have them send them complaints in.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, because do you know the camper that's parked on the street?
Yeah.
Of course.
I've seen it.
What?
I've seen it.
Have you been in
In it? No.
it?
I had no reason to go in inside it.
No.
I wasn't invited, so.
No,
But I've
but
seen it
it's
there. I've seen the
obviously
cars
someone
there.
who works there.
It is somebody who works there.
I am a little concerned about what's gonna happen when the restaurant, the dinner restaurant opens.
I'm not,
I'm just.
I'm happy
We
about
had,
it.
we've had something very similar when Bull and Bear opened next door.
Okay,
We had complaints on Academy Street, on Elm Street, because of the newness of it and the numbers of people. So this is fairly new. It's not been open maybe a month
Right.
at this point.
We're
And,
growing pains somehow.
you know, I mean, I still think you have some opportunities here that it'll kind of settle itself out and calm itself down.
The only thing I'm concerned about is if there was an issue at the apartments right there and the thing
No,
came
I
up
mean,
and now it's
yeah,
gotta
just
turn,
see about that.
do this,
So,
doing that. you know.
Right.
I mean, I next time
Are the
it's like
cars
that.
pulled into the sides as far as they can? When
No.
you see them parking
No, they
there, or
aren't.
they park out in the
No,
road?
and
more?
that's one of the complaints that I think.
Most
That's one of the
recent complaint I had is that the cars are parking. Disrespectfully, if you will, that they're not mindful and it blocks the driveway. Or they're.
No, as Mike
inside.
Jones has said, if the codes officer, if people's driveways are blocked, they should be calling the police. To complain
is a-
and to address that
Sure.
situation, because that's not a village thing, that's a police thing to address. And if they're not parking appropriately, then we can check with our codes officer or the police department and see what we can do about that.
It's more of a traffic enforcement thing than a village codes thing. It's just
Right.
the way people are parking. If there is parking allowed on both sides of the street, the way they're doing it is just disrespectful to the people that are living there.
Right, so if they block driveways over and things like that, they really need to call the police to take care of the situation.
Which is what we inform them.
Okay, we'll look at it continually to look at it, see what we can do.
That's it.
Okay,
I'll make sure I call you the next time it's blocked.
call me, I'd like to come and see it. I've been up and down that street too, but I haven't seen the problem so much as maybe it's the wrong time of day.
Maybe
Did I
you
go
should
on
get, maybe you should go in and get a little sweet treat or you walk down that street.
I don't walk, I don't walk. I don't walk, and when I was coaching, I didn't run. I walked,
Anyway.
all the years I coached, I just walked. Players didn't like that idea.
Okay, Jan?
Well done. So you all heard of the update on the zoning code. Center for Active Adults is experiencing some difficulties in their basement. They've got a little noise that pops and presents itself erratically. We all think it's coming from the radon system. We're trying to get someone to come in and look at that. And now recently we're getting drip, drip, drip from the HVAC system in the basement, so it's getting wet, and we have calls into that system provider to give us some maintenance support. We have some doors on the cottage, which is fabulous.
Oh.
And yeah,
So we've had Gary Way and Sean working up at the cottage. They were able to repurpose some doors that were in the senior center during the
Awesome.
renovation. That they were able to refashion to fit the two doors, so both doors are gonna be operational. Not that maybe we'll use one of them unless we have to, but the other one will be operational for everyday
great.
use. They also found some storm doors to put on there. They might have refashioned the storm door that was on the Genesee Street side of the building.
that was for
But
Russia.
the door that's on the parking lot side towards the barn, they did find a storm door for that too. So they were concerned about the door, replacing the door, but then having weather hit that door and have it, rot out or something, or over time, obviously. So the storm door will help protect that or whatever. So they've been doing that.
That was a good find. That was a very good find.
Yeah.
And I believe that all of the utilities with the electrical panel, we wanted to enclose it so, it kind of kept it a little further away from any shenanigans from people. So, so that seems to be almost done. I'll talk with Tyler when he comes back and hopefully we can really get it done. The feeder canal is just going to begin. We're trying to get some planning meetings together to map out our strategies to approach that whole project. So it's very much in the very beginning stages.
The DEC's involved, right?
They will be,
Yeah,
for sure.
I went to the presentation they had. Thursday or Friday.
The
I hope
DEC
they do.
had.
Yeah, I hope they
On
do.
what was the presentation
On-
about?
And what they do.
Where was
What do they do, Dan?
Do everything. They do everything.
They do everything. If there's a plant.
They do-
DEC
They do
too.
animals, they do plants, they do water, they do, can't do this, you can't do that.
So DEC.
Most of them are
is-
negative. But that, I went because they help us out with our tree field program.
And the presentation was not specific to the feeder canal. That's all I'm trying to straighten out. Yeah, the presentation was more general, to the DEC. Okay.
They do water.
Yeah, they'll be involved. That's all I have.
Okay. Anybody in the audience have anything? Mary?
What's this project on the feeder canal?
We are going to give a gallant effort. We received, to take all the teasing aside very seriously, the county has a Greenway and Blueway program in which they are providing grant monies to communities who want to either improve or create a trail that's a greenway or improve or create something that is a waterway. So with that, and knowing the historic nature of the feeder canal, and how it is just sitting there, I reached out to the county last year and said, hey, could we use some of that money to restore the feeder canal to get it to have flowing water? And then once we've accomplished that, to establish some kind of input, some kind of system in which people can put their kayak into the feeder canal and kayak out to the wide waters area in the canal and then go on their merry way. So that's our goal. I don't know if anybody's been down to the feeder canal recently, but it looks in 3 times worse shape this year than it was last year. So
Level was so low.
the level of water is so low, it's just really a kind of a mud pit. And in addition to that, that doesn't bother me so much, but what really concerns me are is the Phragmite that's grown into the feeder canal. They're very difficult species to eradicate, very difficult. So That's where we'll have direct communication with DEC and say, you know, we have a program which we can use here.
I think the beavers are way down almost to the wide waters, yeah.
It's in the water. So
They're-
we have a lot to do. We have a lot to try to figure out, but why not? Why not? Wouldn't it be cool? Wouldn't it be cool in a year, maybe two? Where you see me out there in a kayak trying to figure out how to kayak.
There you go.
Is the Parks Commission doing that?
The
No.
Parks Commission is not involved. They are involved in that, the New York State, I'm sorry, the Fayetteville Parks Commission will have input, but they're not running the program.
Who's running?
Where the
What year?
village of Fayetteville is collaborating with the town of Manlius on this.
Great.
And I am working closely with the town supervisor to establish what we're calling a steering committee. We're trying to get folks on the committee who have historic knowledge or, you know, working knowledge of the area, who have any kind of professional expertise on waterways and ecosystems involved with waterways, so that we can do this the right way. So it's sustainable. We don't want to create problems for either the town or the village down the road. But we love the idea of opening up access to those water sources for the town residents and village residents to enjoy. Yeah.
Okay, Mary has another question.
So Casey, you said that it's not a good time to trim these sidewalk street trees.
It's not a
When is-
great time to trim trees, period.
So when is the time,
The best time is when they're dormant,
which is in our.
sometime between December into April, May, I think. Because right now they're trying to store energy, and in the tree life cycle, and then they have to get through the winter. And so that's the best time. I
Some of them
guess.
are, some of these trees that I'm familiar with, it's really a safety issue about them right now, some of them.
So this is
people
a
right-
shared responsibility.
No, I'm just
Commission-
saying though, that if both people can work through this, quick, it would get some of these safety issues taken care of.
I very much agree with you.
That
And
it should, some of them should be put off until
yeah,
November, December.
So if you can, with this other person that has requested us to do something about this situation, if you can give us some addresses or some locations, which I'm sure you can, just jot them down and send them to me or Karen or somebody, and so that we can start looking at those specific things that you think are the, I'll say the worst of the worst or
Yeah,
whatever.
we just get night when people
So-
are out on,
Yeah,
walking and doing, biking, if they're on sidewalks, I mean, they're not gonna see.
all right.
the tree commission members are villagers. They're very concerned about how long it's gonna take them to address all the trees. So this partnership that's really necessary between what DPW can do, what we have to hire someone to do, and what.
Are you focusing on the
Well,
sidewalk, the trees that are over the sidewalks?
That was not the charge or decision of the tree commission, which, again, is 13 months old. So
When they started also is the tree commission, when they started. This was not really addressed with them as a potential problem or a problem that needed to be addressed. So I'm not. I'm defending them to a degree because that wasn't something that they were charged with or that even came up in discussion. This has been more recently brought to me from and the codes officer from a resident. You're saying it too. So I mean, I'm just saying in general, this is something not necessarily not an ongoing type of problem, but something that hasn't been brought to us. So the DPW has been doing trimming around on these trees over time. And this is not new to them. They didn't just start because somebody made a complaint. But I mean, the tree commission also, once they started their pruning, were kind of focused more on like street trees, not necessarily sidewalk street trees, or the trees that would affect the sidewalks or whatever. So of the street trees.
Well, but they're street trees.
There are street
Yeah.
trees. I'm saying that the tree commission has gone out and they've been focusing, as Casey said earlier, on this kind of quadrant down here. First, so the trees that are over the sidewalks down here have probably been trimmed because that's where they've been putting their focus. There's a big village, a lot of street trees, a lot of sidewalks, and a lot of things that need addressing, as was said, so that will be addressed, and we're just, you know.
We have over 2,000 street trees. So,
And not all of them are on sidewalks.
Right.
Yeah.
And not all of them affect the sidewalk, but there's,
you do, as they're picking up trash and recycling, could they help develop like an inventory of trees or addresses or something like that?
I think really the best thing is we gotta go street by street, try and do this, but
That's what I'm
I'll
thinking.
talk to Tyler and see. what we-
Next thing is to
Come up.
hire someone to use a drone and fly.
Sidewalk in front of.
And then you have it.
We're
good. And then you can, they can move.
Stuff going down.
To grow.
That way.
Yep, we're part of the grant with CC, with Cornell
We get
Cooperative.
drones. We need people around here. Who flies a drone? Come on, guys. Rohan, you've got to have friends who fly drones, right?
I know that the tree commission members are very eager to be a part of a problem-solving effort.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm bringing it up now because we're trying to,
No, because
Push 'em.
they are very concerned too.
Yeah.
They're like, at this rate, we'll be 20 years down the line before we can get everything, so.
okay,
But thank you, Mary. And
that's good. Anybody else?
We'll try
Are
to
you,
get that.
are you good? Do you have anything else? Anybody else? Okay, I just have a few things and then I would like to go into an executive session with advice of counsel and our clerk. For pending legal action. So this was mentioned earlier, we have the Fayetteville Festival this Thursday with the or the Party in the Plaza this Thursday, we have the Fayetteville Festival in September, so we're working on those two events. Kind of an update on the senior center boiler that was in the minutes from the August 5th meeting. We didn't get any bids for that, so that is an ongoing type of thing at this point. That's a boiler that we received grant money through community development to replace the boiler at the senior center. So that's ongoing, but just to give you an update as to where we are with that. The daycare building, again, another issue that we talked about during budget time. The daycare building needs some work done on it. So we have hired again, Gary and Sean to go down there to do some of the work. Tyler and I met with the daycare owners and their requests were to kind of fix some of the siding. It's texture T11, if that's what it is, something like that for the siding on that building. And so the bottom part of that where water had dripped over time and splashed back up on the building has rotted. So they're somebody had already, the village had already gone down there and taken care of some of that. They're continuing that part of the process. So they have to cut it off. It's like maybe 2 feet off the ground. I don't know the exact measurement, and then replace it, put a little trim board across there. Then it can be painted. That's been primed and ready to paint, but it needs a final coat of paint on there, which they will be doing as the owners. There was also some, the former people that ran the daycare had logs there for the kids to play on, and they've deteriorated to a point where they want them removed. So the DPW is going to remove those. And then there is some groundwater and some gutter, I don't know what you call it, discharge areas that need some addressing. So the DPW is going to be working on that for them. So that we kind of address their concerns and their needs at the moment. And so we talked about it. We put some extra money in the budget to do some of these things when we budgeted. So I just wanted to give you an update that we were following through with what we talked about doing. We've had, I don't know how many meetings now, about 3 or 4 meetings with the town of Manlius in regards to the potential consolidation of fire departments between the 3 villages and the Kirkville Fire District. That's an ongoing discussion, and they've asked to have different things provided to them, which each of the departments have been providing. So that's an ongoing discussion, and there isn't really much to report, I would say, overall, other than that it has been an ongoing discussion.
Moving forward.
And we're moving forward in that direction to come up with some recommendations and some ideas. So as we have more information, we'll be able to share some more of that with you. As far as the 547, they've been issued an abatement, asbestos abatement permit. And they are working on that building. They have removed the vegetation across the front of the building. And that project is moving forward. I saw something today on social media that was talking about that particular site, and somebody put on there that there is supposed to be 140 apartments on that site also, along with the grocery store. But I want to make sure that that is portrayed as false, and there is no apartments that were approved on that site. It is strictly a store, and a grocery store as far as I know. And so just want to put some of the rumors to rest. That's all.
I was wondering if we might send out a press release because we don't get to tell the story if we're only being asked questions by a reporter. So just I've seen lots of things on social media that are way off. And you know, things go back and forth about whether we want a grocery store or not. But if we could just explain.
Well,
This is where
whether
we
we
are.
want it or not, it's approved. Just so,
Right.
I mean,
This is what's happening.
right.
What you see, this is what's happening. There's, I think, 3 state agencies involved, you know, what are the 3 state agencies doing? People would like to know that asbestos is gonna be contained, because we have daycare center just right there, and we also have a nursery school, so anything that we have that helps explain what is going on, I think would be appreciated by the public.
Okay, we'll look into that. And obviously the asbestos will be contained because that's very regulated and inspected along the way. So,
Mike,
yep.
as a resident who's next to that, and I currently have a mediation in my basement, how will that be impacted with the new tenant going in?
With mitigation that you have?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I will look into it and find out for you and get back to you with that. Because they come and inspect it every so often. Is that what they do currently? Or they never have? Okay.
You can check with Mike Jones. To my knowledge, nothing is going to change.
I don't think anything is changing.
That back there, those are the wells that they have back there.
What's the question again?
No.
What's the?
We had people that investigated that. Did
Well,
you-
Brian and
your
Gere
house-
came
Yeah, your house was
and
one
they
of
put
them.
in a mitigation
Yeah.
Put in
yeah.
mitigation, what do
in
you
my
mean by that?
basement.
Soil vapor mitigation in the basement,
Yeah.
is that right?
Yeah.
Soil vapor mitigation.
Okay, in your basement, in your house.
And I'm assuming it's still working. Nobody's ever looked at it. But,
Yeah,
you know, with the mitigation, is that gonna clean up the area behind my house? I'm all the way down near the brook.
we did that.
That I'm not, I'll have to find out for
Okay,
you. I don't
okay,
have the
sorry.
answers really for you right now. but I-
Which doesn't have, that's not a village.
No, he's asking me to ask in general. Not, he's not asking the village to do it. He's asking me to find out from either O'Brien and Gear or whoever owned the property to do that. I'll reach out and find out information for you. Or if there's somebody that you need to talk to, I will find out who it is, so you can ask them questions directly.
Well, they're talking about
Eight-
now.
8
Yeah,
years
no,
ago.
but we're talking about now. I think it's a very valid question. I think it's a very good. You could even, I think you could reach out to the engineer who's working with the current.
Well, I'm gonna find out who you need to talk to or what the thing, information is or whatever, and then.
For me, that's the benefit of putting this in, is that mitigation, so
Right,
that's next to my.
Someone had to have stuff done. so-
Weren't there other houses on Cashin that
Yeah.
received that? So
Yeah, I don't know
when we
which
find
ones.
something out, we might wanna tell them that too.
Okay, I appreciate it, Mike, thank you.
thank you. Okay.
Have you ever gotten correspondence over there? I would think part of the agreement would be if something were changing or if there are different contact, they would keep you in the loop.
I'm not sure. I remember when they went and tested the houses in the surrounding
Right.
neighborhoods. And I remember when they did that.
So long time.
Was a long time ago, and that's as good as my memory is. So
That's-
I don't know the
No, I
answers to
appreciate
your
it.
questions, but I will find out from
Yeah.
the current people who you should,
Thanks.
what we should be doing, or if we should be doing anything with that,
We did
Okay.
Cashin and Camet.
Yeah. And then the only thing I've had is some concerns about the detour sign still from the bridge down here, so I will pursue getting those removed. We did get the state put the no left turn, as Mark mentioned, back onto High Bridge, so that's back in effect and working. But there's still some detour signs that are confusing
I
people.
tried to reach out to their.
I know we've asked
contractor.
or whatever, and we haven't been able to get very far, but we'll continue to work on that. So I just need a motion to go into executive session in regards to a pending litigation.
Move to go into an executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and there will be no action taken afterwards. It's just a formative thing. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Thanks for your plan.
Are we getting
and your
kicked out or are you going?
work.